Welcome. I'm Richard Hosnout, and I'm your host for the Wisdom Inspired Life podcast and this Wisdom Inspired Life YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. If for any reason you'd like to contact me, you can email me at richardwib@gmail.com, the address you see on the screen. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. And heck, we may even Zoom, depending on what you want to talk about. This is another in the Ageless Wisdom series. This is from a great master who is God-realized, self-realized, enlightened, however you want to call it, who's part of the spiritual hierarchy that governs planet Earth from a spiritual standpoint. You can learn more about him should you so wish. And he communicated via mental telepathy 24 volumes and more than 10,000 pages of esoteric wisdom to Alice Bailey in the United States, and for a while she lived near Monterey, California. I've read it all, at least once, and there is a particular book that's put together as a compilation by a devotee of the Ageless Wisdom called Ponder on This, and it's from this that there are a whole range of very interesting topics that aren't covered in other wisdom sources that I'll be sharing with you, for the most part, that I thought you might be interested in. It's available in limited supply on Amazon. Last time I looked, weren't many copies left, so who knows what's there. So today we're going to be covering a few quotes, just a few, on the topic of the Buddha. Now, the Buddha is one of the great God-realized beings that was on Earth about 500 years before Christ, and around which Buddhism later became a religion, and it's not a unified thing. There's Tibetan Zen and other sorts of things. But nonetheless, he was one of the great God-realized teachers to come on to Earth. So let's get just to know Buddha a little bit better. The Buddha came approximately 500 years before Christ. Buddha answered the questions posited in his time by giving the Four Noble Truths, well worth reading if you're interested, which satisfactorily and eternally answer man's demand of why. Great question, some great answers. These truths can be summarized as follows. The Buddha taught that misery and suffering were of a man's own making, and that the focusing of human desire upon the undesirable and the ephemeral and the material was the cause of all despair, all hatred and competition, and the reason why man found himself living in the realm of death, the realm of physical living, which is the true death of spirit. Okay? A lot here. You probably want to go back and listen to it again, but the key thing is we are responsible for creating our own reality. Okay? We have choice, the power of choice, in actions and how we interpret our actions and the actions of others, and a whole lot more. Okay? And it is this, the focusing of human desire upon the undesirable, the ephemeral and material, all of which ain't at the essence of who we really are, folks. You're focusing on the wrong thing, and it's bound to involve a fair amount of misery along the way. Okay, so key point here, Buddha provided us a book, The Four Noble Truths, which answers man's demand of why. Next, the Buddha came embodying in himself the divine quality of wisdom. He was the manifestation of light. Capital L means divine. And the teacher of the way of enlightenment. Light, wisdom, reason, as divine yet human attributes, were focused in the Buddha himself. He challenged the people to tread the path of illumination to light, of which wisdom, mental perception, and the intuition are aspects. Very important here. Okay? He came embodying in himself the divine quality of wisdom. As I've shared with you in other episodes, I have found Buddhism to be very rewarding. I had the great opportunity to study with Djwal Rinpoche, one of the most advanced Rinpoches. Studied with him in person at various times over a 4-year period of time. He made a very strong impression on me and was very instrumental in my spiritual progress. And if you want to know more about that experience, there actually is an episode about my experience with Djwal that you may want to listen to, and it's also covered in my book, My Wisdom-Inspired Life, A Provocative True Story, available on Amazon, should you be so inclined. Okay, so the Buddha was a great beacon of light and wisdom that came onto the earth. We needed it. And then 500 years later, we needed it again with Jesus. Okay. Next. After Buddha, then came the next teacher, the Christ. He embodied in himself a still greater divine principle, talking about Jesus, the Christ. Greater than the mind, that of love. Remember, Jesus said, God is love. Yet at the same time, he embraced within himself all that the Buddha had of light. Okay? So the Buddha and more. Christ was the expression of both light and love. Okay? So in these two great God-realized teachers that were sent onto earth by God to help us humans, gosh knows we need it. And God has done that over various periods of time. My guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, certainly was part of that. Krishna certainly was part of that. Muhammad, Patanjali, way before. Sai Baba 1 and 2, all those sorts of things. Paramahansa Nityananda probably. So God sent onto earth realized beings to help us find our way back home to God. Okay. Well, clearly in 3 slides, I can't tell you everything that there is to know about the Buddha, but if you are at all interested, I strongly urge you to do some additional learning. I had a very strong connection to the teachings and everything, and you can experiment with that with some of the Djwal Rinpoche videos I also have as episodes on the channel. Okay? And if you want to know more, you can go to mywisdominspiredlife.com. You can listen to the Wisdom Inspired Life podcast there. I'm also on Apple, Spotify, Google Play. I'm on a mission to try and help people live more of a wisdom-inspired life. This is an episode in an effort to try and help along that way. This is a journey, and I appreciate you being part of the journey today. And I look forward to continuing this journey with you.